What's going on, everyone? Welcome to After Dark, where we relive the movies that started it all. This is Steven from After Hours Video, and tonight on After Dark, I'm joined by two horror connoisseurs who know their stuff. We've got GC from Face the Movies and Jordan from the Movie Dad. What's going on, guys?
What's
Dude,
up, man?
What's up, brother?
I'm so excited for this.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Can we talk about that intro real quick though?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Was that
looked really cool.
worth the wait? All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thanks.
No, I really liked it.
I appreciate it, guys. All right. So let's see. What's going on, Alexander? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, what's going on? Faithful right there.
All right. So obviously tonight together, we're going to be diving deep into the best of 90s horror, from those unforgettable gateway films to the magic of video store nights. Let's get into it. So before we get started, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So go grab a slice or two of pizza, pour yourself a drink, and come hang out with us, because tonight we're stepping back into the shadows of the 90s. So I just wanted to kick things off first and foremost with you guys. Let's go around, and I got a few questions for you guys. So let's kick it off with, what's the first 90s horror movie that truly pulled you guys into the genre?
Ooh, man.
Ooh, mine for 90s. Oh,
Yeah.
Scream.
Okay.
Scream. I remember as a kid, that was a movie. That was funny enough when I was young. So I went over to my dad's house, and it was always horror movies. We can watch whatever we want. I wanted to watch. Like, that's where I watched like It at like 4 years old, like the Tim Curry It.
Oh, that movie
Scared me to
traumatized
death.
me.
Oh, dude, even to this day, I have a hard time seeing Tim Curry's version of Pennywise. Like the new one, completely fine. It's his version that I have trouble with. But Scream was the one that, for some reason, my mom's side never let me watch horror movies.
Okay.
If it was on TV, maybe. There was like The Shining. I remember one time I got to watch it on TV. But for some reason, Scream was one that I got to watch. And so that was, for me, was Scream, for sure.
That's a great choice. I feel like that for a lot of people, that cemented their interest in horror and like the slasher genre. So GC, what about you, man? What was the go-to movie?
Dude, so for me, it's unfortunately not on the list, but it's on I want to say Nightmare on Elm Street. That was one of the first one of the first horror movies that I vividly remember as a kid. The scene with Freddy in the alleyway and his arms are stretching out. That's exactly what always stuck to me and kind of just cemented horror in my head. And then after that, it was just, I mean, the usual suspects. You have Jason, you have Michael Myers, and then it's like I started venturing into like Pinhead,
Hellraiser movies. Yep.
And that's when I started like getting intense, to where I started really leveling up. But yeah, man, Nightmare on Elm Street was for sure like the one that started it all for me.
Wait, did I misunderstand the question? Was it horror movies in general or 90s horror movies?
No, I was referring to like 90s horror movies.
Oh, okay.
Then I think that
no, you're fine. I just didn't want to make sure I didn't misunderstand.
No. So GC, if there was like one 90s horror movie that comes to mind for you, like what's your definitive 90s horror movie?
Man, I want to say like Pumpkinhead kind of sticks out to me.
Okay.
And it was just also because I was kind of hanging out in video stores at the time, and wandering around, and that was what I remember. That's one of the VHS covers that stuck out. So but yeah, I would say that one's kind of one of my fond memories.
Alexander brought up the first 90s horror movie that pulled me into the horror genre is I Know What You Did Last Summer. So seeing Helen's iconic chase scene had my heart racing in a way no movie ever had before. So I think that's like another one I would say is like one of the mainstays or like video store staples of the time. That really drew, I think, a lot of us into especially like slashers of the time. I think the one that I would really have to go back to and really I felt like was very influential, and especially with the amount of hype that was behind it, was the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about it. You know, it was a movie that I felt like was almost scarier, more built up in my mind than what I actually saw. And that's a movie that definitely lingered with me. You know, early on, like when you're first getting into these movies, I think that they have more of a lasting impact for sure.
Yeah,
So
you're not wrong about that one, man. That one I
Yeah,
remember like in school hearing everybody talking about it in the playground, and it was just for forever you thought it really happened. And then me living in the mountains, like at night, it was so creepy because you would think about the movie and like, oh man, the Blair Witch is out there.
yeah, it
definitely. Yeah.
it's a scary, definitely a scary concept, and I think just how effective the marketing was for this. I mean, that movie was just groundbreaking at the time.
Yeah.
Um, so I got to ask you guys, what's your favorite memory of browsing the horror section in your local video store? Or are there any
Mm.
memories that stand out to you, like from the video rental days?
Um. Wow. If we're talking about in the horror section, um, I think two. I specifically remember, and this had to have been,
What's up, Arthur?
um, Alexander kind of hit the nail on the head with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. I just remember seeing that green cover of the mask, and I was too scared as a kid because 2003. So I'm a bit probably younger than you guys, so that would have been put me in third grade.
Okay.
I was scared to rent it. Like I remember seeing it, but I was scared to like I want to watch it, but I'm scared to watch. It wasn't 2 years later that I actually watched it, but I specifically remember that fear of kind of walking by it and looking at it, and it almost felt like a movie. I was afraid I shouldn't be going up to my parents and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
can we watch this?" That
It's
was mine.
I swear I feel like the the cover art to certain movies back then, whether it was on like the VHS cover or like the movie posters that they had framed throughout the video store, like I felt like those were always like really like the hook that drew you in to, you know, whether or not I was going to check something out. Maybe I didn't even know anything about it, but it was enough for me to be like, man, I'm kind of curious. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I want to know more about this movie, right? Um, GC, what about for you?
So if we're talking about the 90s, I would say like for sure it was like a blockbuster, or there was like this tiny little video store where I lived in California
Hmm.
that we'd go to, and I'd kind of just wander around and find myself in a lot of like near the horror section. But obviously I was still too young to kind of figure it out. But then it was when hitting the early 2000s, right? You're coming off right off the 90s, where my fondest memory was this tiny little hole in the wall video store right across the street from me. And it was very like dark, man. It was like kind of almost, I felt like a scary movie type situation. Their lighting was horrible, and it was all VHS, and the aisles were so narrow that it was like one person could be in that aisle at a time.
Like shoulder to shoulder.
It was, yeah. And then it was only one entryway, and it was like going out the same. So you were like, if you went all the way down, you were kind of stuck in that aisle. And I remember going through the horror section and knowing that, man, I'm too young. I'm not allowed to be in this
Yeah.
section, but they didn't care. They let me be in there. And I remember movies like Uncle Sam, some of the first
Mm.
staples sticking out to me because of the cover, how it was like that whole what's it, anamorphic or holographic? I think that's what it's
Oh,
called.
Lenticular.
yeah.
Lenticular. Yeah, it had like the lenticular, and then you had one it had like an island on it and a skull, and it was the actor from the show Buffy. He was in this movie. And that was another one that stuck out to me, that I just remember seeing these lenticulars and I was like, dude, what is this? Like, this is
Jack
so damn
Frost.
cool. Jack Frost was
Yep.
another one. Um, and yeah, man, I mean, that's to me, I just remember getting excited every time I found one. And in my mind, I thought, this is going to be the best movie ever. Like, it
Yeah.
has this on it. Like, this has to be the best movie ever. That and the little two Street Fighter arcades that they had.
Oh
Those were
man.
those were some of
Yeah.
my fondest.
I
Did you
was
guys have Blockbuster or did you have Hollywood Video?
I had
Oh,
both.
yeah, I had, it was Blockbuster was closest to us. We also had Family Video that wasn't too far, and
Okay.
then we had some, like, mom and pop video stores that were local in the area as well. So, the nice thing was is if one video store didn't have what you were looking for, then it's like, okay, well, at least we have options nearby,
Yeah.
to go check out. But, man, I just remember, like, Friday nights, that was, like, always the move, like, order a pizza or load up on snacks at 7-Eleven. You'd go over there, you pick a couple tapes up, and it's either stuff maybe you'd seen before, like old favorites, or you were like discovering some like new gems. But there was just something so special about it that I feel like even all these years later, it's like you're still like in a way, I feel like nostalgically you're trying to like recapture that those feelings in a roundabout way. Um, but yeah, it's definitely, I would have to say it's definitely like some very, very fun memories from back then for sure. And I remember that's when they had like the do you guys remember they had like the N64 set up at the video stores? I don't know if any of yours had that, but there was like certain games that were really popular at the time that they would like you'd be able to play for I don't know, like 15 to 30 minutes or so.
Blockbuster. My Blockbuster had like an N64. I remember
Yes.
that.
Yep.
Yeah. Mine, we always had Hollywood Video, and we had they had like a side section called Game Crazy. It's this
Okay.
little side rental rental and actual store is like attached to the side, and they also had the game section as well. But I remember they had the N64 set up to play. Even when they had Game Boy Color, they had that little setup you could play. PlayStation
Yeah.
little section, yeah, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
What's going on, Steven? Thanks
What's
for
up,
coming
dude?
to hang out with us tonight.
Steven.
And let's see.
The other Steven.
There's a 90s film that's underrated. Oh, Cherry Falls.
That's a good one.
I haven't seen that in years, but that'd be a fun one to revisit.
I remember I was a little older, but I went to my grandparents, and there was a small little video store they had, and it was pretty cool because my grandfather, he was known as like the grocery bag guy. They would call him that because he'd get a grocery bag and go in and buy like every VHS on the or rent every VHS
Mm.
on the shelf, go home and copy every single VHS.
Oh
And he
man.
had blank VHS, and he'd go back and he would do that, and they let him do that. And my grandfather, he would even get into the point where he would like photocopy the covers and like make his own covers. So, dude, I mean,
That's
there's like
that's commitment.
Yeah.
thousands of copied VHS tapes in this house of movies he hasn't even seen. And it is the funniest thing. But I remember we would go, and I convinced him to let me rent Night of the Demons 3.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I knew he didn't know. And so I remember there was, I was a kid,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the scene where I'm trying to remember, it's been a long time since I've seen the movie, but where, it's like right at the beginning, and these kids break into their house, trick-or-treaters, and she gets mad. She's got a towel covering her, and my grandfather was like, "You can't watch this." I said, No, just let me watch it. And he's like, "Fine, I don't
Yeah.
care." And he leaves the
Yeah.
room, and she got to watch it from there. But I remember convincing my grandfather to let me rent Night of the Demons 3.
Hell yeah.
It's the
Dude.
Hell
funniest thing.
yeah. Dude, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Um all right. So now out of like the we're covering a number of different 90s horror titles, but which do you think was the best starter for someone new to the genre? Like someone that's just getting into it, what would be that recommendation that you give someone?
In the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah, just out of like the 90s horror films.
I think like something it like to really ease them into it, something like Scream.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like the type of movie to kind of ease somebody, even though it's a slasher. Like it's not necessarily like there's demons or anything like that, but I feel like it's the best entry point. Like Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I mean, even the Blair Witch, right? Because you don't really, it's just people the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's very atmospheric and stuff like that. But for me, those are some of the ones I'd probably recommend.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this one's a little later in the 90s. I think it's 99, but The Sixth Sense was
Damn
a
it.
really,
That's what I was
really,
gonna pick.
That's a
a
good
Yeah.
one.
really, sorry, a really good entry level horror film or thriller.
Yeah.
It has some horror
It's
elements, I would say.
psychological horror.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, you got to think some of those scenes, like when he talks about the terrible. We're on live on YouTube, so I don't want to say it, but the stuff that they did to the people, and they're in the hallway or the stairwell of the school,
Yeah.
like in those visuals. I mean, there's some scary stuff in there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
The early M. Night Shyamalan films, there's something about those. Like I feel like that run of movies that he had, extending from that on out for a couple films. I
Mhm.
mean, say what you want about like the movies that he's done since then, but those first few, man, those are definitely really memorable, especially with The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, yeah, and I do agree with GC about Scream. I think it's a really good one too.
Yeah. I guess dependent on, you know, how okay you are with like gore to a certain extent. I mean, I would also throw I think Candyman's iconic.
Yeah.
That's like another one that always comes to mind when I'm thinking 90s horror. But I mean, there's some scenes in that I think at the time were pretty gnarly, but
Oh yeah.
um,
Well, what about like Sleepy Hollow? That'd be another good,
yeah,
I think, entry point because it's got that kind of fairy tale esque quality to it.
yep. I think if you're looking for something that has like, it's kind of like we're talking about, like a little bit more gateway into the genre. Like I feel like Army of Darkness is another good one where it's like, that perfect blend between horror and comedy. Um, it's you're not going feet first into something like super gory.
Hmm.
Do you guys remember Frighteners with Michael J. Fox?
Yes. Yep.
Hmm.
That's another one I would say too, because it's like it has some comedic elements to it, but then it's like you have the ghosts and you have a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
What
That's a-
about Tremors?
oh
Tremors.
man.
There's
Kevin
another
Bacon.
good one that has really good comedy,
Yeah.
between Kevin Bacon and I can't think of the other guy's name in the movie. But his partner, his friend in the movie,
Yeah.
really good.
Oh,
Very
Fred
funny.
Ward.
Yeah, but what was his name in the movie? Because there was Valentine.
Oh, Earl.
Earl. There you
Yeah.
go, Earl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's another really good choice. That's like a series of films I don't feel like gets talked about enough. Let's see. So Stephen was saying Sleepy Hollow or Hocus Pocus might
Oh,
be a good
dude,
starter.
Hocus Pocus.
Yep. And
That's a every year around Halloween time movie we watch.
for
Yeah.
sure. Then Alexander mentioned was also mentioning Sleepy Hollow is
Mhm.
fantastic, very dreamlike, but also nightmarish. All right. Let's see. Okay, and last question for you guys. So, which 90s horror movie had the most iconic VHS cover art that practically forced you to rent it?
Oh wow.
I mean, I have to say the people under the stairs for me was
Okay.
one because it looked creepy as hell, and obviously I have to go with like Uncle Sam type situation just because the lenticulars, man, those always sucked me in.
Yeah, I could see
I'd have
that.
to think about that.
I just remember Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one that I was kind of exposed to pretty early on as like a video store staple. And it was enough with like the cover art, there was something alluring about it that I was like, I kind of need to know more about this. And yeah, I mean, here we are all these years later, and we just, we're obviously getting such a, a prestigious release for, like a video store staple, like cult film. So it's pretty cool to see that that's come full circle.
I would say another one, Frighteners, just that man, that's kind of the all white.
Yeah.
I mean, that version, I guess, of the cover art.
Yeah. 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 Well, let's go ahead. We're going to kick this off. So we picked out 6 different films to start this series, and we're going to go through, kind of give a breakdown of what our experience was with these movies, and kind of do a deep dive into each of these films. So um, I figured the perfect starting place for us to start this was with none other than Scream.
Nice.
So how early on did you guys watch this film? Was it a little bit further into when you guys were getting into horror movies, or was it one of the first few horror movies that you checked out from the video store?
For me, no, I didn't really get the. My dad had this movie when I was young,
Okay.
so it was a movie I watched on VHS. But like I said earlier, this was a movie that I would watch as a kid. And then, of course, when I can't remember when Scary Movie came out, the first one, but that might have been early 2000s.
2000. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of in that weird bridge, you can kind of put it, you know what I mean? That also just ignited wanting to watch Scream,
Yeah.
because I mean, that was littered throughout the whole movie.
There was, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I feel like Scream was such a pop culture phenomenon at the time. And just, especially with Scary Movie, I feel like it only exemplified just how impactful that movie was. And obviously they're, riffing off of Ghostface with it.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I mean, you saw Ghostface everywhere, like
Yeah.
costumes, like people were dressing up for him for Halloween, or you would see it spoofed on TV, or whether it was in movies. And it's just crazy to see that it has such a lasting impact,
Well, it's really cool to see someone,
What's up, William?
What's up, dude? Wes Craven created the icon juggernaut, Freddy Krueger of the 80s. And then a decade later, he goes ahead and he literally flips a horror genre on itself and brings Scream out. And that started a whole nother, huge interest of, American pop culture into the horror genre. It brought slashers back into the mainstream again.
Yeah.
All from one dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable.
Two generations in a row, or decades. Sorry.
What up, Chris?
Yeah. Like
man.
He really, man, what he did with Ghostface, I mean, he just kind of made, he made the slasher genre cool,
Yeah.
because it was always very interesting and creepy and stuff. And then he just made it so damn cool to the point where people were like hell yeah, like Ghostface, and cheering for him and this and that. Even though obviously he's like killing some of their favorite characters, it's just he's so funny, like with the voice changer and all that, and it was cool.
Well, it revitalized the slasher. I mean, not only like the slasher films of the 90s, but also just kind of injected new life into just horror during that time. I feel like, I mean, you had a couple select movies that had come out before then, but I felt like a lot of it, kind of like that revitalization would be due to Scream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also with Scream 2 at the time, a lot of the young adults, teenagers, they didn't like, for the most part, I would say, probably didn't like the 80s horror movies and the 70s. There was tropes. They were like, yeah, whatever. And then Wes Craven decided, okay, well, let's riff on that. Let's play on that. Let's lean into those, and let's make fun of ourselves. Let's, poke fun at and know what it is. And I think that really resonated with audiences.
Oh,
I agree 100%. What up, Brian?
What's up, dude?
Dude. The amount of catchphrases in that movie, like, oh, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
It's so iconic till this day, man. I mean, we have 15 years later, 20 years later, and we're still saying them.
Live her alone.
Well, and especially, I mean, and we'll get into it, but the fact is that, when this film was being marketed, Drew Barrymore being a prominent actress at the time, to have her, spoiler alert, for anyone who hasn't seen it by now, but like she gets killed off in the opening sequence, it subverts all expectations that most people probably had for that movie going into it, all these years ago, when it was initially in theaters.
They pulled what Hitchcock did with Janet Leigh in
Yep.
Psycho.
Yep.
You know,
And ironically, that obviously gets brought up at a later point in that movie, so it's kind of, interesting how it kind of pays homage that way.
yeah.
Alexander mentioned, so Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream 2, New Nightmare, and Blair Witch. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer would be your picks. Those are great options, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so for you guys, was Scream your introduction to slasher movies, or had you seen others first?
GC, you want to go or you want me to go?
Oh, I thought we were going like in order, but
Oh, okay, I can go. No, for me it was Halloween.
Okay.
That was my father's favorite horror movie, and it just, as a kid, that was a movie I was introduced to. It's it's Halloween. Even random times during the year, it would be put on in his house. So it was a movie that you had to watch. So that was the first one I watched, and that's what
Okay.
started getting me into it. But I think when we're talking about 90s, and as I got a little older, yeah, it was Scream for me.
I would have to agree with you on, especially with Halloween. Halloween was what kicked off, really that interest into getting into slasher movies and renting them at the video store. And, it's like I wanted to get my hands on as many other, similar movies as I could. And back then, it's like, I hadn't had the exposure, to all these movies the way that I'm sure as all of us we have now. So, it's really hard to recapture. Just, I don't know, man. It was just so exciting at the time getting into these movies and really discovering my love for film, especially for horror movies like that.
and for me, I gotta say, it's hard because I like if we're talking 90s. I mean, I was born 87, so for me, it's like 1997, 1998. It's like when my brain starts really like processing this type of stuff.
Mhm.
But I agree with you guys on Halloween because I remember especially like it playing a lot on TV, and I don't remember if it was um like like Cinemax or HBO or Stars. I just remember them playing a lot of those movies. I remember I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think it was on Stars. Like they played it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yep.
remember Scream as well, and those were some of the ones I consciously remember, like actually sitting there and watching. And Halloween for me was I was very young and I would see it a lot, like those iconic scenes, but I'd never seen the full movie or fully grasped like what it was. It was something that it was always kind of like the Mummy, like it was always playing on TV. And I was
Yeah.
like, but yeah, man, those are some of the ones that were just iconic. And then by choice, I remember like Psycho, for example, being one that I saw when when I was able to finally like go into the video store and get these movies even as a kid, because the guy that worked there was my friend's cousin, so he didn't care about our age, but which was awesome, dude. But it's like I'm 14, 13 years old and I'm in there like, oh, I'm just gonna pick this. Like Child's Play, like Brian just said, yeah, that's another one that
That's a
like
great
full
choice.
dude,
Mhm.
that one. Like, and man, I remember I was like, dude, Chucky's freaking awesome. He's hilarious. Yeah.
Well, and Alexander makes a good point. So, Kevin Williamson, I mean, the
Yeah.
lasting impact that I feel like post Scream, you just had so many movies that were trying to replicate that same aesthetic. And, it's pretty remarkable. I mean, he definitely left his mark in the mid to late 90s.
Oh, well, I mean, he wrote two of the most iconic 90s horror movies, Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. The Faculty
Mhm.
is another
The
one.
Faculty. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like we talked about in that I Know We did last summer stream, he actually wrote that before Scream, but the studios wouldn't pick it up because they didn't think it would be worth it. And then Scream comes out, and then they're like, "Yeah, we need I Know What You Did Last Summer."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, do you guys remember seeing the Scream VHS cover for the first time? Like when you guys were at the video store, do you remember like, like did you see the cover art or the tagline? Did that hook you in before you even knew anything about it? Or was it just more of like word of mouth?
I had already seen it. I mean, from TV. So like when I saw it
Okay.
in the video store again, I was like, "Oh man, hell yes!" Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah, for
Chance
me,
to revisit it.
it was already in the house. We owned it. So that wasn't a movie that when we went to the video store that we would seek out, because I would see and like, oh yeah, I know this movie,
Yeah.
So
So, okay, which kill in Scream was the most shocking the first time you saw it?
Oh, the garage kill where she gets stuck in the garage and like it just kind of like goes up and she gets stuck. I think to me that one stuck out because it was just funny as hell. Thinking like, how can she get through that tiny little
Yeah.
doggy door?
well, and then you watch Scary Movie.
Yeah.
For me, it was definitely Drew Barrymore's. The shot of her hanging in the tree was very scary for me as a kid.
Yeah. And it's very
Um,
like, I mean, that sequence, like when they zoom in really like quickly, it's very chaotic feeling. Like, it's just everything escalated so quickly in this short sequence. And I just remember first time watching it, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I didn't know anything about that she got killed off that quickly. This is my first introduction to the cast, which obviously they went on to have huge careers post Scream. And yeah, it honestly, it's incredible, man. I don't know. It's definitely it's tough, man. There's so many notable kills I would have to say in this, but yeah, that opening sequence I think definitely raised the bar for everything that followed in the movie. Uh
And then we're talking about slashers, one that we completely all forgot.
yeah.
Urban Legend.
Oh yeah.
oh yes, dude, and why am I blanking on his name? Freddy Krueger. He's in it.
Oh,
Oh,
that's right.
He's the professor.
Yep.
yeah. Robert, damn it. Now I'm
Robert
blanking.
England. Robert England. Robert England's in it. Brad
Come on,
Dourif is in
GC,
it.
you know this.
It's been a long week.
Yeah.
I'm like
Now-
fighting for my life.
Yeah, and Brad Dourif's in it too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys so prior to seeing like once you guys had seen Scream, did you guys already know about like the twist, or did like any of your friends spoil that for you at all before you saw it?
I don't think my friends at that time were what. That's the funny thing, dude. Like I grew up so quick that by the time my friends got to these type of movies, they were already like mid high school, graduating high school, and me, it was already in like I want to say like 8th grade. I was out there kind of just renting these movies by myself, and so it was really nobody to talk to, and then it was me introducing them to friends type situation, and them just kind of sitting there and being like staring at me like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Ooh, that
Oh,
was-
that's
yeah.
true. Yep. That's pretty gnarly. I mean, it flashes very quickly from like what happens post him getting attacked, but still nonetheless, it's pretty bad. Now, after seeing this, did this change the way that you guys watch horror movies going forward? Like, did you guys feel like that this like kind of set the expectation for future horror movies that you guys were going to check out?
Like expecting a twist.
Yeah, or just
I think maybe.
I mean, it's like on the upper echelon, I would say, of the movies that came out during that decade. So I could see, if somebody's just getting into this movie, it might be setting the bar pretty high.
Yeah, I think it's easy to see after seeing this movie, seeing a lot of other movies that tried to copy it.
Yeah.
For
That's
sure.
a big one too of the 90s. Is and you can also in the 90s see a lot of the tropes start to continue in the 90s. Like the twist, like it's one of the best friends type thing. You see that a lot.
Yeah, the teen drama, which
Yeah.
was very, very apparent in a lot of Kevin Williamson's scripts.
Mm-hmm.
And
What ab
I think for me it was like it was more of trying to get the next fix, right? Like you see
Mhm,
these movies and they're so good, and you just kind of go that. I mean, and again, at this early age, the internet was at its infancy, so we don't have Google where you could just look up, like I mean, like it is now, where you just quickly go on your phone, look up an actor and stuff like this. But back then, you would go into these like deep rabbit holes. Like for example, when I was a kid watching Hackers, and
mhm.
then later on seeing Matthew Lillard in Scream, and I'm like, dude, what the hell? And then just getting excited for what's gonna happen next. What's gonna be the next scary movie type situation where it's gonna give me that fix of like, man, that was amazing. And then seeing my favorite actors in these films. But I didn't have the only expectation that I had was just kind of sitting there and waiting for the next one to come out, like
Yeah,
hoping that there'd be something else or a sequel. That was mainly the thing back then, was always like, God, I hope there's another sequel. I need more. I need
for
more.
sure, for sure, and, I mean, expectations were just so high for Scream 2 by the time that came out,
Yeah.
it's like, how do you top the first one? Which I think was definitely its own challenge, and the last thing I kinda wanted to touch on with you guys is how did Scream change the landscape of horror in the late '90s?
Oh, I mean,
It did. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
like I said, you kind of look at every generation or every decade had seemed to have a lull, a dip, and a
Mhm.
rise in slashers. 70s were kind of just, it wasn't until the 80s that they really seemed like to go on a roller coaster. With the 80s, you had to start Freddy Krueger, Jason,
Yep.
very big, and that just soared. And then people kind of got tired of it, and then these production companies moved on, and it started going to video store film, straight to video store movies of these slasher films. And then Robert Englund comes in again and revitalizes that want for slasher films with Scream, brings it up again. And I think, yeah, I mean, obviously it's had a lasting impact because kind of the requels and what they're doing now. I mean, we're on 7 now, so clearly
So
it has
crazy.
a lasting impact,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the success of Scream, right? I believe H2O came out after Scream, did it not, or did it come out right
Yes,
before
I
it?
hold on. It's actually a good question. I'm pretty sure it was after. Yes, it was after.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the success of Scream, I don't know if we would have gotten Halloween H2O without Scream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. What about you,
Spec-
GC?
I agree, man. I mean, I think Scream kind of came in and just demolished like the landscape and just rebuilt something new, something fresh, something fun, something sexy. Because I mean, back then it's like you had these slashers, right? You have like the movie Psycho, stuff like that, where it's very dramatic, it's very serious, and then you have Scream poking fun of itself, which was
Mhm.
creating this whole new genre of like comedic type slasher,
Mhm.
where it knows what it is. It brings in, like, it's not afraid to not pull punches, bringing in some of the biggest actors, and then just like in the beginning, dude, to be able to just slaughter Drew Barrymore in the first few minutes. I mean, it was literally making a statement. It said, "We're here to stay. This franchise is going to grow, and we're just going to kill one of your favorite actors right then and there." And
Well,
then just to bring everybody in, like that cast. I mean, it's incredible.
Well, I mean, that was a great marketing tactic too on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
on them bringing in this very well-known actress. It's almost like it's luring them in with candy at first. Like, hey,
yeah,
check this out. Oh, we've got you in the seats. Now let's go ahead. We'll kill her off.
Mhm.
Now we're going to show you the movie.
It's a
oh
ballsy
yeah,
move, though.
Oh, of
I mean,
course.
yeah,
and Alexander makes a good point. It's like, you go back to like when these films were released, and it's like all you had was the title, the cover art, and a choice to make when it came to these movies. And there's so much to be said about how, obviously social media can be very helpful. Internet's very helpful in a lot of ways, but also a lot of it just gets spoiled so easily. Like you have to be careful,
yeah,
with when you're going online. It's like, you know, Weapons just came out this weekend, and it's like I'm dodging left and right. I don't want any spoilers. But back then, it wasn't really something you had to really worry about like
Mhm.
that, you know?
Well, even trailers back then, they would have footage dedicated to just trailers, or they would come up with their own thing that wouldn't show anything from the movie,
Mhm.
but it would still be a trailer, and it
Yeah.
would still promote the film without showing you one frame from the movie.
And you had the iconic voice too. I feel like back then the trailers had the same type of theme where it's like, in a world,
In a
Yeah,
type,
the same
world.
voice, the
dude.
same voiceover.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
Mhm, same
It,
guy.
and I feel like back then you know what's funny? If you look back in the 90s and compare to now, back then we couldn't wait any longer for for a sequel. We were always praying for sequels. And
Yeah.
now every time it's announced a sequel or a prequel, we're like, oh God, not again. And
For
it's
some more than others, you
yeah,
know?
it is definitely true. Yeah, but it's one of those like they're gonna make part 17 at this point. Like
I know.
how
I
many
think that's
times?
the problem with today's though is that it's not just sequels in itself; it's sequels of movies that already had sequels that
Yeah.
are very successful, and they're just trying to cash in on that same success. When just focus on the put a
Yeah.
sequel for a current movie. I mean, I think
Yeah.
because I don't have a problem personally with a current movie sequel for the most part. But like when I Know What You Did Last Summer came out, like I was kind of excited, but yikes.
Well, I
It
have a
didn't meet Jordan's expectations, to put it
No.
kindly.
I've got a question for you guys. For back in the 90s, right? In the late 90s, let's say, um, how did you and I'll answer this one real quick. So for me, I like where did you get your movie trailers besides like the TV or the movie theater? Because I used to go to like iTunes. I used to go to the Apple website and look for movie trailers and watch them there. But what about you guys?
That
Dude,
would I
same.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, maybe it sounds bad, but a lot of them were either if I was, like, in theaters or if it was something that I was renting,
Right
and
in the
that was
beginning.
it. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, it was pretty, like, minimal exposure that I would get, for
Uh,
stuff coming up.
I remember when I found out about Apple.com having movie trailers, dude, it
Dude.
was all over. And it's so funny because my grandmother had like dial-up internet, like, and I would sit there and just wait and like watch like 2 seconds. Oh, it's got a buffer. Okay, we're gonna
Yep.
wait. And that's how I'd watch these trailers because
Yeah.
they had all the trailers on there.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about that 'cause it's just now we're so fortunate that the minute that something goes live, I mean, it's on X, it's on Instagram, YouTube, anything on social media, like, it just spreads like wildfire, and back then, it's like you didn't really have that luxury. I mean, you would hear about it from maybe, someone who had seen a movie recently or, word of mouth of, like a sequel coming up, but that was about it, you know?
Well, or you would hear it on the radio.
That's
Yeah,
true, yeah.
That would happen a
that's
lot.
true.
You would hear the ads on the radio for the film.
Well, Jordan, you were talking about candy earlier, and I figured that this this is the best way to segue into our next pick. So, the iconic Candyman.
Oh man.
So, I gotta ask you guys, for Candyman, did you guys think this movie was scarier because it's blending like urban legend with real world settings? Because it Cabrini Green, it could very well, I mean, if you live in like more of like an urban area, um, urban legends like this, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, maybe not necessarily with Candyman, but it's definitely a real thing that people, talk about these type of things. Like, do you think that that added to this movie or the mythos?
Dude,
E
let me tell you a little story. When I
Oh
saw
boy.
when I saw this
Yeah.
movie, let me tell you, when I saw this movie, I think I was in 6th grade or something. It must have been either 6th, 7th grade. And I thought this was real. Like the kids, so there, because I lived up in the mountains
What?
and in California, Riverside County, and I mean it was like dirt road type situation. And in school, right, they would say, "Oh, either they had the myth with like Bloody Mary or Candyman."
Yes. Yep.
So what they would do is they would dare you to go in the bathroom with the lights off, and then you stand in front of the mirror and say Candyman, and they would lock the door behind you, so they wouldn't let you out until they heard you say it. But when I saw this movie and I got to my new school and people were doing that, dude, I thought that was real. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, dude, this is like, are you kidding me right now? This guy's gonna come out of the mirror and get me. So that was like my exposure to it, like just the horror aspect.
Well, GC, you survived.
Yeah,
Thankfully, and we're here talking about it.
that's right.
What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, exact same as GC. It's
Dude, yeah.
what scared me about this movie was the camaraderie I would have with kids at school and
Mhm.
talking about, whether it be at school, whether it be, having, your friends over for the night, for the weekend, daring you to go into their bathroom.
Yeah.
And then of course, after that, you would never be caught, if you have to walk down a hallway, turn on the lights as you go walk down the hallway, because you don't know, I think it was for Candyman. For me, what scared me the most was that whole urban legend of saying the name 5 times. And, that's what was scary for
GC,
me.
you unlocked like a hidden memory with Bloody
Yes.
Mary.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Yeah, Candyman. Come on, dude. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
dude, I was
Standing in the mirror with the lights out.
Yeah. Oh, no,
Let
thank
me-
you.
Dude, let me add a quick thing to that part, to the Bloody Mary thing. I remember as a kid, like going to the new school, hearing all that stuff, and just being like slightly traumatized.
Yeah.
And I remember one specific night, I'm in bed, and I look out the window. I woke up in the middle of the night. I look out the window and I see this lady just walking down in this dirt road.
Nope.
Like, dude, and I guess it looked like one of those
No.
like back then, like
Nope.
like night robes or whatever, and she was just slowly walking in the dark. And I remember thinking, holy crap, that's Bloody Mary. She's gonna get me. I should have never done that and said her name in the bathroom. But yeah, man, like it's
Well,
awesome.
I've got something that's definitely going to help all of us sleep better tonight. We got a super
Yes.
chat that came in from Poppin'
What?
Fresh.
What's
He's-
up, dude?
Thank you so much. So Poppin' Fresh is saying, have a good show and weekend, gentlemen. Always learn a lot from you lads. Well, thank you so much, man. Glad you're
Yeah,
joining
thank
us
you.
tonight. We're dicing it up with all things 90s horror tonight.
Enjoy your weekend. Go watch Weapons.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's on my to-do list. That's high on my to-do list.
Tomorrow.
So which scene out of this movie did you guys feel like hit you the hardest the first time you saw it?
I think when they killed him, spoiler alert, but yeah, like when they kill him, when they
Damn,
catch him
GC.
You
Sorry,
just give it.
guys.
Just tell us the whole story while you're at it. Come
Yeah,
on.
right? Ruin it. But yeah, I think when they killed him, like I felt real bad. I think that's what stuck out to me the most when I find out like what happened to him.
Mhm.
And it was just so messed up. And I was like, man, that kind of sucks, with the whole bees and stuff. And that's really it's a scene that stuck to me the most. Even as a kid, I was like, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
What about you, Jordan?
There's 3 that I can think of.
Okay.
Oh, you said 1? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
Overachiever.
Yeah.
I'll rattle them off quick.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
One of them was, of course, Tony Todd with the actual live bees in his mouth.
Yes.
That scene, man, and especially as a kid, you see that because you're scared of bees anyways, and to see someone have actual bees in their mouth is wild. And the story about his contract, his agreement that if I'm going to do this, every time I get stung, you know what I mean? I think that's really cool.
Got paid out.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? The other one was, of course, when I think was it the therapist or the doctor's office.
Yeah.
And then this is going to be a spoiler. Sorry, guys. But the Helen, when they say Helen's name 5 times, I remember that vividly when she pops up.
It's definitely like even as a standalone movie. I mean, I love like the urban legend aspect of it. It's so damn creepy.
Yeah.
The score is excellent.
Oh, dude, Philip Glass, man.
Yes. It adds like a whole another layer of tension and just it's very unsettling. I feel like the one that always comes to mind for me is the parking garage scene where he like initially shows up and it's just like how do you top that for an entrance?
Yeah.
Like and just the booming voice, it's so much bass in his voice and it's just it's so damn creepy. And especially because like leading up to that, you have the incident that happens where Helen, she gets assaulted, and it gives you the impression that well, we initially think that might be Candyman, but it's obviously not. And then the real Candyman actually shows up, and I just remember I was like, oh shit. I'm like, she's fucked. You know? But it's just such an iconic movie, and it just plays with those gothic horror aesthetic. And I obviously rest in peace Tony Todd, but I had a chance to meet him. This was maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and he was just so nice, so nice. And I just feel like it's one of those things where it's like, I just feel very fortunate I had a chance to meet him. And it's just unfortunate with what happened. So I think
Mhm.
it's tough. Like sometimes watching this movie, on rewatch, it's just unfortunately it's not with us. So
It
Yeah.
it definitely it definitely takes it up a notch when you meet the person behind it, like behind the icon. And then also it's like when you learn what goes into making these movies, I feel like it always makes it, to me, for me, like 10 times better. But Tony Todd, and like you were saying earlier, man, his presence, like that guy, he had the voice. He could just stand there and not even say anything, and he just had that energy where it's like
Mhm.
this dude means business.
There's a reverence that Tony Todd has to him,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's I think that this would be, in my mind, the role that definitely defined him. But he was I mean, obviously we had, Final Destination Bloodlines that came out not too long ago, and his presence in that movie, as well as Night of the Living Dead, it's just there's more to him obviously outside of Candyman, but it's like how do you top that role,
Mhm.
Um now, did you guys feel like the film's mix of like supernatural horror and social commentary made it stand out from other 90s slashers of the time?
Yeah, I think so. As a kid, I didn't really catch on that.
No.
As a kid, I just saw this urban legend that, scared me to death, that, you did it dare with your friends. But of course, as you got older, you see things through a different lens. Um and yeah, it's very interesting, and it's very well done. The kind of what it has to say.
Yeah.
Um
Like
yeah.
Like it doesn't blend it. Like it didn't feel like they were trying to shove something like down your throat, some type of agenda. It was
For
so
sure.
Yeah.
blended
It was
that
very organic the way
it
they
was, yeah,
said the story, for sure.
so natural. And man, I mean, and like Jordan said, like back then, I wasn't really paying attention to that type of stuff, but the urban, like that and legend aspect of it,
Mhm.
it's what, like, those type of movies back then that really stuck in my head the most. Because man, as a kid, anything that was like the Blair Witch, right? Anything that at all seemed slightly believable and slightly real, to me, that was enough to just throw my imagination into like a freaking, like, into a tornado.
Yeah. Pop and Fresh mentioned he got the Blu-ray for As Above, So Below in the mail today from last week's suggestion. Can't wait to compare it with The Descent. The Descent's bonus features are amazing. That's
Oh,
Oh,
awesome.
you just made GC so happy with that,
Dude,
I
dude,
guarantee you.
he's
popping,
the biggest advocate for As Above,
dude,
So Below.
Pop and
Hey,
Fresh, I want to tell you that if you're a fan of Dante's Inferno or the Divine Comedy, like stuff like that, if you're a fan of anything that has to do with alchemy, like any of that stuff, it's all in As Above, So Below. And
Okay.
just enjoy it, man. You're probably gonna have to watch it like twice because there will be some things that might be missed. I cannot preach
man,
about
I
that
want to
movie
watch
enough.
it again. I might watch it
Dude,
tonight.
it's so good, especially when you watch it a second or third time and you
Yeah.
really like catch certain things. Because if you have like a good sound system, you'll hear certain things in there that they don't always stick out. They're so subtle, but it's so good.
Pop and Fresh, did you have a chance to watch The Descent yet? Hopefully you did. And
I'm
then
excited, man. Oh, he got me. I'm all like twitching now.
he's all amped up. GC got his second win for tonight. Alexander was saying, I think horror is a genre to showcase political commentary in a way that's digestible but relevant.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Oh, for sure. And I think horror is is one of the best ways to push whatever you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is clearly not 90s, but Cannibal Holocaust, I think, is a prime example of that. Of what
Hell
it had
yeah.
to say about news and about how we, Steven could probably speak on it better than I can.
Who are the monsters?
Yeah.
Who are the monsters and
Yeah. It's
about information and the
in a roundabout way, it's like creating, kind of fabricating stories just for the sake of
Mhm.
creating news, and in a lot of
creating
ways.
news to sell a story.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
and
it
it
is.
I mean,
Go ahead, sorry.
and you can attest to this, like the very end of it. I mean, that closing statement that after they're reviewing the film, it's like, it's like they're questioning like who like who's worse,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um
That's horror is definitely the best way to get to social commentary across, man, because when you're watching when you're watching other genres, you're trying to kind of really turn off your brain, especially with comedy or like superhero stuff like that. But when you
yeah.
watch horror, it's because you want your mind blown, and you kind of just a lot of times like psychological thrillers, you want to be obviously mentally stimulated, so to sneak this stuff in while your brain's already like on high alert because you're mentally trying to survive the movie from the jump scares and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Your senses are heightened, and then you're like taking all that in, so it's definitely the best way to get social commentary across.
So I got to ask you guys. So how important was Tony Todd's performance to making Candyman an iconic horror figure? Could you guys, like, I guess in a roundabout way, could you picture anyone else playing the role?
No.
I I don't think I could. I don't
The
No.
think
remake was like, to me, I liked it, but it just wasn't Tony Todd.
no, and I think that they took an interesting take, in a lot of ways. Like, what would you guys consider that? It's almost like it's like a spiritual sequel in a way. I mean, it's taken place so many years after the first one, but it's just, I don't know, there's just something about like his performance. It's nothing against uh the requel in any ways, but I feel like the original one just did it so much better, and a lot of that I would attribute to Tony Todd.
Mhm.
You just
Um
I'm sorry, go
oh
ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say some people are just born for certain roles, and it's impossible to replace them. I mean, the best example that we could all agree on is Nightmare on Elm Street. Robert
Yeah,
Englund was born to play
100%.
Freddy Krueger. There's nobody that could pull it off. Just like certain superhero movies, right? We have certain superheroes like Thor. To me, Hemsworth, I couldn't picture anybody else being Thor or Robert Downey.
Mhm.
Nobody could play Iron Man like Robert Downey. He is Iron Man. He was born to be Iron Man. Um,
Well, and I think you make a good point because, that's going to be such a tough follow-up with whatever they decide to do for Nightmare on Elm Street,
yeah,
because I think a lot of that is attributed to Robert's personality, his body language, how he gets inside the character, where, you know, I just think it's a little bit different when you have, someone hiding behind a mask, the way that we've gotten different iterations of Jason or Michael Myers. Somebody could just as easily be able to put on the mask and be able to take on like a sequel or jump into that role. But again, it's a actor that's so synonymous with the role that I don't know how you could recapture that.
well,
Um,
I want to say as far as for putting on the mask. So I used to think that, but isn't it interesting that even certain physical actors, like in Jason, right? Certain people that have played Jason can't catch up to like the original type Jason actor because of their body. Like their body language was so good
I
that
agree
they
with
didn't.
that.
Yeah, like it's hard
Yeah.
sometimes to put on a mask.
Well, they have different approaches, I think, to the character. I mean, that's a really good point, because I think you could, with Friday the 13th, it's a great example, because I think
Yeah.
each actor that played Jason physically had their own take on it with their body language and how they carried themselves, as Jason. So now Stephen was asking, why does horror and comedy go hand in hand if done right?
Like being in the same film, like like a horror comedy.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would say a good example is like Return of the Living Dead,
Oh,
Army of Darkness, films like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, films like that where it's almost like the perfect blend of horror and comedy together.
I think because of the breathing room, man. Like, especially you watching so many people get slaughtered for so long, and then you kind of have that moment of you kind of gotta get refresh your palate, and then to go back to it. I think that's one of the reasons for me, at least, like it goes well. Oh, nice, man.
Good deal.
Hell yeah, we're making an impact.
Then Alexander was saying horror is the genre where the doors are never locked. You can keep pushing the boundaries and sensibilities of people to where other genres feel limited in narrative.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I mean, depending on how a director approaches it, I think it's better to not hit viewers over the head with a message that you're trying to get across. If you do it right and you can do it subtly, goes a long way. I think a lot of older movies did that a little bit more effectively. Now, do you guys remember seeing the Candyman VHS cover in the store? Did it creep you out when you guys saw it?
I remember seeing it, the eye with the
Yep.
bee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing it a lot.
We don't get movie art like that anymore.
No,
Yeah.
no.
The VHS
Most of it's just
best.
headshots now, headshots and photoshopped all together.
Yeah. VHS had the best, man, like the best cover art. I didn't remember being creeped out, but I remember like it sucked me in. I was like,
Yeah.
Candyman.
Yeah.
Same thing with Leprechaun when he's like through the little, it's like a black box with looking through a doorway
Oh,
type.
it was so creepy. I remember seeing that at the video store and I was like, man, no, thank you. I didn't see that for I don't know why. It took me a long time to see Leprechaun for some weird reason. So
Yeah. You remember with Candyman, I remember as a kid, I'd see it. I'm like, what does bees have to do with candy?
yeah.
Yeah, explain that one to me.
Bee and candy.
Do you guys, I don't know if you guys saw Motel Hell early on, but I'll never forget going to the store. And I remember I would just browse through the aisles and I would go through and I'd be checking out different movies. I remember seeing the farmer with the pig head on and he's got the chainsaw. All these years, I couldn't figure out what that movie was for years for the life of me. And it's like a complete full circle moment now that I have it on 4K. It's from Scream Factory. And, it's just, there's certain movies I just remember from back then that definitely the VHS cover left an impact on me. And then last one for this is, how does Candyman fit into the broader legacy of 90s horror for you guys?
Oh man.
I mean, it's up there, definitely. Maybe not as much as it would have been when I was younger. But as I've gotten older and, appreciating horror more, as a kid and even junior high, it was Candyman for me. That was just, it was a movie that you watch. It was scary. But for now, you look back, it's definitely up there because it's definitely has its place with performances, with the score, with with what it's trying to, the story it's telling.
Absolutely.
I think all of it makes it almost a perfect film.
What about you, GC?
Man, I gotta say that, and this might be controversial, but I think in this day and age, compared to being a kid and watching these movies on VHS, I know we did last summer, Candyman, Scream. I've never gotten the high from any of the new. I've seen all these new. Obviously, we're talking about Barbarian recently, right? Phenomenal film, loved it. It still didn't make me feel like how Candyman or all these other movies made me feel. And I don't know if it's just because my brain was so pure that taking all this in was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I've yet to see something at my adult age that just gets me like that, that just stays with me. And really, I'm just sitting there years, I mean, dude, we're talking about these movies from 20 years later, and I just
Almost more.
Yeah, man, exactly. And it's definitely high up there for me. It's one of those staples where I'm just like I'm happy we could look back and not only have VHSs but have the 4Ks, the Blu-rays, and always have those fond memories with these
Oh,
movies in hand.
absolutely. I think it's having like a deeper appreciation because I know obviously we all like physical media, but like, just having everything ranging from VHS to DVD all the way up to like 4K, being able to appreciate these movies on various formats. I mean, I know we always talk about it as far as like going back and getting back into like VHSs and things like that. But it just really helps me, and I think for you guys to a certain extent, really appreciate where things came from and be able to love physical media in all of its various forms.
Yeah.
Um, but I agree with what you guys were saying. I definitely think that this is in a lot of ways, I think what really laid the foundation down for a lot of like, the urban legend setting, a different take on gothic horror. And yeah, it's definitely a movie that I feel like, especially around Halloween time, it's just such a fun movie to revisit. Um, Speaking of movies that I recently had to revisit, what you guys know about the Blair Witch Project?
Oh, beautiful. That's the only way to
um,
see it, man. VHS, man.
yep.
That's
I don't know if it's real. If there's one movie out of anything that came out of this decade, I feel like VHS is probably the preferred way that I enjoy watching this. The box set, from Second Sight is I mean, it's perfect. It's probably the best it's ever going to look. But there's just something about the aesthetic of having this, in the form that I initially saw it in. Um, you know, really, how did the Blair Witch Project change the way horror movies were marketed? I mean, do you guys remember when this was first being rolled out, or the marketing that they were doing for this? I mean, this would have been really the early infancy of the internet, and them having a dedicated website for this. Like, do you guys remember any of that?
yeah.
For me, yeah, a little bit. For me, it was more word of mouth was the Blair Witch. At
Mm-hmm.
school, I remember people talking about the scariest movie they've ever seen takes place in the woods, and almost a dare, like, can you make it through the movie? Like, well, then you hear stories. Well, I heard this one person saw the movie and they ran out, or I heard my cousin saw it and passed out in the theater, and you just hear these stories, and that's just kind of those stories from me center around the Blair Witch Project growing up.
It's it's one of those movies that it's a master class in marketing.
Yep.
And I think the best example we could say in 2025 is Weapons. They did the exact same thing. They created a website and it just made it like they created such mystery behind it. But I mean the Blair Witch had it like what horror movie could you think of that they never show you a monster, they don't show you anything, they just show you people scared and that's enough to kind of get you. And I mean, to
Hmm.
me, when I think of VHS, the Blair Witch, like when anybody says, "Oh, VHS," Blair Witch is always one of the first, like the first movie that pops in my head. But,
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely. I don't know. I think it was like lightning in a bottle for when this movie was first released, because I think that where like the time that it was released, it just was able to really capture that aesthetic of it being possibly like, hey, this is actually found footage. This is real, right? So, um, now, how does the Blair Witch compare to other 90s horror landmarks like Scream or Sixth Sense, for example, in lasting influence for you guys?
oh, it's its own category, man. It's its own weight class, like in boxing. I mean, you
Hmm.
can't compare Scream to Blair Witch because I think that what Scream had to do to get the notoriety is you have to have like those big actors die, right? They had to
Hmm.
market it with Drew Barrymore. With the Blair Witch, it was just mystery. It was like, oh, this is real. This really happened, and that's it. That's all it took just to say those words. This is real, and then after that, everything just kind of went from there. But I think it holds its own as its own category.
Yeah, I think with the Blair Witch, I agree. It does. You can't really compare them, and I mean that by with the Blair Witch, it had its own like the other movies were fun. Now I know Candyman, we talked about social commentary, but at the end of the day, it was fun, right? As a kid watching it, having the whole urban legend Scream, it's fun. You just watch it. The Blair Witch had something darker about it, something sinister, and
Yes.
it's very folk horror driven. The whole story about it, and it's one of those that almost feels evil in a way, I guess is the best way to put it.
Like,
It's
you're not
so
supposed to see it, right?
yeah, it's like it reminds me of Evil Dead. You're opening up the Necronomicon. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be looking at this. This isn't
Nope.
meant for you to watch.
GC,
There's a
look away.
reason. There's a reason that this was missing,
Yeah.
right? And it's got a raw, visceral type of feeling to the movie, and man, it hits you on another level than, let's say, a Candyman, a Scream, or even some of these other movies we're going to be talking about tonight. It's definitely, like I think Jesus said perfectly. It 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 hits its own. It's how do I say this? It belongs in its own weight class for
Yeah.
sure. Um, it's like another echelon of filmmaking, of content, what it what it's about. Like I said, it just seems pure evil. There's something evil about it. I mean, the name in
I would agree
general,
with
the
that.
Blair Witch Project. So,
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting though, because I feel like as the movie goes on, it's like what you were talking about, that sinister feeling and that dread, it
mm-hmm,
just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And then by the end, like once you have Heather's monologue, I mean, it's just everything's spiraling out of control by that point. And it's so hard because I feel like the directors were never able to recapture that again. Like, how do you follow up such an iconic movie, that has I mean, it was in our cultural zeitgeist post when this film was released. And I mean, I think of this, like when you're thinking found footage, we were talking about Cannibal Holocaust. I think in a lot of ways that was what set the standard for anything coming after it. But then you get movies in the 90s like Ghost Watch or the Blair Witch Project, and it's like it elevates it to um just like another level, I think, with what you
mm-hmm.
can do with it. And I felt like everyone was after this movie came out, everyone was trying to like ride that wave of success that they had.
And
Yeah. Well, let's not talk about the last broadcast. I mean, that technically
Yes,
came
that
out a
too.
year beforehand, and I mean, I think the Blair Witch Project would still be just as good had it had. Well, it's hard to say because this came out after it, but no, it's hard to say if how the last broadcast would do if the Blair Witch Project wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? Um,
Absolutely.
yeah.
but yeah, man, what a time.
And can we also say that, like, speaking of Scream and Blair Witch, I mean, both of these movies, I mean, they were such a staple in pop culture that,
Yeah.
I mean, till now, people still talk about the Blair Witch. Like, even new generation kids, they know what the Blair Witch Project is. And they weren't even around at that time to witness it, but it's just something that's just been passed down from like the last two generations to where it's like it's just up there. And I don't feel like movies like the Blair Witch and movies like Scream, they're just, I mean, Scream obviously never going to disappear, but like movies like the Blair Witch, it's going to be talked about probably for like another 30, 40 years.
It was some of the most effective marketing that I could
Yeah.
think of for any horror film. And the closest example, I meant to bring this up earlier. You guys were mentioning weapons, and Longlegs was another one that initial marketing that they had for that film, like regardless if you did or didn't care for the film, you can't tell me that marketing wasn't like just very eerie and creepy
Mm-hmm.
on so many levels. And it just made me really feel like, this is like one of those first few times I've had something that did it this effectively, the same way the Blair Witch did. Maybe not quite the same heights, but with like the ominous mystery
Yeah.
behind what's going on with it. And I don't know, it's you don't get that too often anymore.
I wonder if they with this type of marketing if they do teach it in some type of school, because either like in film school or some type of marketing, because man, I'd be curious to know what the budget was for marketing this movie. I would be curious to like what was going on in their heads when they came up with this idea, because it's so brilliant. It's so brilliant and it still works. Like even when we know what that type of style is, it still works. Like with weapons, man. Weapons, like
Mm.
when I saw the website, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like this is I got flashbacks of, because they even made the website like in the 90s, like those little like funky looking with the fonts and everything and minimal pictures. And I was like, man, like they're really they must have, I can't wait to see the special features for weapons and see if they were inspired by the Blair Witch in any way.
For sure. Poppin' Fresh was saying he saw Blair Witch around 12:30 p.m. on a Wednesday in theaters. Only 4 people in theater. One person did leave. I mean, and that's the thing, though. It's not just, somebody, if they're stepping out of the movie, it's organically. It's not just like to build up hype behind the release. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, I think the marketing for this was incredible. And I was just thinking, too, I was trying to remember. I think Robert Eggers' The Witch was another one. Marketing wise, I mean, they really dove into it. I don't know if you guys remember, but they had a Black Phillip Twitter account. Like
Oh,
Black
no
Phillip
way.
had his own Twitter account to promote the film, and
I would
he'd
not
tweet
remember
and say
that.
things. Yeah. So, that's kind of another thing that got people really excited for that film when that was coming out.
Well, and GC was talking about, he was asking like what the budget was for the Blair Witch. So they spent, it looks like approximately 60 to 75K, and it ended up grossing approximately 248 million worldwide, which is
Was that a
insane. It's like,
marketing?
huh?
Was that for marketing budget or for the whole movie?
Just the whole movie.
Damn, I wonder what they used for marketing though. Like, I wonder if it was like, because if they took 70 to make, man, I wonder if they had like 10 grand for marketing or something like that. Or,
Well, I know the people. It was really, I think, just the directors and the people who wrote it did their marketing themselves for online for the website.
dude, see,
It was just them. It was very raw, very
like guerrilla
the
style.
documentary on the second site release. They talk about that, and it was them. They created the website, and they would just every so often put up inserts from Heather's journal and all that stuff. Yeah,
That's incredible, man.
It's definitely really interesting when you reflect on it. Just, again, how effective the marketing was. Like, again, you just have to give credit where credit is due on that one. Now, was there a certain moment in the movie for you guys that left you like unsettled the most?
Oh, I don't want to spoil the movie, but
Okay, spoiler alert. If you
There we
haven't
go.
seen it by now.
Seriously.
I think a big one for me was when they're in the tent and it's a live reaction that you're seeing in the film is when the tent starts shaking and going crazy. That's a big one for me.
Yeah. For me, it was when she starts crying in front of the camera. Like
Oh,
when
the
it's like,
snot.
yeah, like that to me was one of those like, damn, like she's like, what the hell is happening? Like, and then that obviously the end where like the person's facing the wall. That's when I saw that, I was like, dude, you need to get the hell out of there right now, because no way. It's like the second I saw that, I'm not even asking questions. I'm turning around.
I think the moment that just it just left me so shook was the ending. You see him standing in the corner, and you already know like what exactly is going on depending on how you interpret it. Um, but I was like, oh, this is not going to end well.
You're like, nope.
Nope.
Yep.
And just, I don't know. And like the more you really read into it, like all these years later, it just provides like additional like theories and context. And it I don't know. There's something about it that I just absolutely adore this movie on so many levels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's brilliant, man.
It's a great film. And it's got its own little mascot too. You got the little stick figure man.
Yeah. It's
yes, there's that.
it's brilliant because it's such a simple film. It's so simple. Again, it's all dialogue, just three people in the woods in like shitty lighting and like very like crappy resolution, and it doesn't have any creatures, any monsters, nothing like that, and it just sells, right? And the very guerrilla style marketing, like Jordan was saying, what they just did everything themselves.
Yep.
And I mean, it's hard to hate something that's so well made with what they had.
Oh, 100%. And I just remember at one point they were talking about just how like sleep deprived and hungry they were on set, at that point.
Mhm.
And really, I feel like that enhanced it for the better because you see like there, I mean, there's certain points in the movie where they almost feel delusional.
Mhm.
Um, now, Steven was saying, he's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't people actually try to go find the missing filmmakers before they found out it wasn't real?
Yeah, I
Honestly, I
heard
mean,
that.
I remember hearing something about that, but it wouldn't surprise me just given like how they kind of fleshed out this backstory,
Mhm.
prior to the movie coming out.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. So how effective was the decision I can't talk, the decision to never show the witch or any clear supernatural events? Like essentially less is more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen higher budget movies with like, I mean, a lot higher budget movies and name cast actors suck, with all the CGI and all the stuff. And then with this, it's just them, like I said, them in the woods. Dude, I mean, you don't need more. Like, dialogue is king in the end of the day. I mean, you don't need flashy. Just give me a good story and a good plot, and that's all that matters.
Um, I think with this, it was a very interesting decision to do,
Yeah.
and a good decision. I think it was for the better because it left you up to your own imagination, your own
Yes.
feelings. You are almost creating this narrative in your head of what's going on, and that's scarier a lot than anybody can actually show you. It's a tactic that they did so well that it would stay with you after the film ended,
Mhm.
because now you walk by a forest and now you're unsure. You go back because now the witch is not, oh, that's in that movie. Now the witch is, oh, it's this story. I don't know what the witch looks like. She could be anything.
It's in your head. I mean, it really
Mhm.
gets in your head. I think
Yeah, yeah.
and you guys were talking about like, okay, so less is obviously more. They're not really showing a whole lot. They don't ever really show the witch in this movie. And I can't help but like harken back to the Texas Chainsaw. Now, obviously these are
Mhm.
polar opposite movies, but in a lot of ways, I think what stands out to me about Texas Chainsaw is I remember when I initially saw it, all these years ago, right? The Texas Chainsaw, I remember, I remember like going to school and I'm telling everyone, I'm like, oh my God, it was just so violent and bizarre and all this other stuff. And in my mind, I had built it up like it was so graphic and gory. In reality, it's almost next to no gore that's actually shown in it. You don't actually see that any of our protagonists are getting torn up by a chainsaw, but it allows your imagination to run wild. And that's
Mhm.
how I feel like the Blair Witch Project, what it does, it excels in.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would have to agree completely.
So I know we were talking about this a little bit earlier. So was Heather's final monologue one of the most iconic horror movies of the 90s oh my gosh, horror moments of the 90s?
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
up there.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's someone that is just spiraling out of control, and I don't know. She did a very, very great job at conveying
Mhm.
that. And I have to ask you guys, so how does Blair Witch hold up compared to modern found footage movies? I'm sure by now you guys have seen a number of them. Um, where does
Man.
this rank for you guys?
I mean, this for me, I mean, yeah, you've got Cannibal Holocaust, which is a phenomenal found footage
Mhm.
movie. But I mean, since then there really wasn't a lot. I mean, honestly, there wasn't a lot. Um, and this one, man, it's hard to beat. There's really good ones out there, and from a personal standpoint of films that I actually like, there might be some that in the moment, like I think this is like maybe better. I don't want to say better because I think Blair Witch is like the perfect one, But I mean, like I have my moments like, oh, I really like this one, but I always go back to the Blair Witch Project because it is that just iconic, that original found footage film that I think was done perfectly. In modern found footage, it's hard to come by to get a really good one. I think Hell House LLC is up there.
Mhm.
I think it's especially whatever the fourth one is, or is it the third one, fourth one? Whatever the one where they go to the manor, Carmichael Manor. I think that's like almost a perfect found footage horror film.
You guys are convincing me to watch these movies. I've only watched the first one, so I'm gonna have to dive into some of the sequels.
Yeah, the one and four are the best. 2 and 3
Okay.
are okay.
Okay.
But anyways, regardless, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
I think they haven't touched it yet.
And
Speaking of can't be beaten, Steven mentioned they just bought the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Good timing. Good timing on that. I will I'll leave it at that.
First time watch for you.
I'm like jealous because you're getting that first time watch.
I missed that.
Yeah. Well, it's good timing then that you're getting that. And yeah, so that pretty much covers everything for the Blair Witch Project. And I would have to say, I think one movie we've left out was, I think, Paranormal Activity. I feel like was like the only one since then that I feel like has not necessarily hit the same height of the Blair Witch Project success. But I do think that it was effective for a movie that came out, a decade later. And kind of did their own thing with it for sure. All right. Well,
there's one more too, which is kind of like a found footage documentary type, but As Above, So Below is one of them.
Swear, dude, I knew you were gonna say that.
Dude, I had to eat. But I did want to add a quick thing, because I know what you're saying, Jordan. It's true, man. I agree with you with the Blair Witch, because even if I find something better, which there's been times where I've been like, this is better, it's just hard to beat because the nostalgia, it's just the way it made us feel growing up. Like it's that feeling alone is just, it's hard to beat it, no matter how like we look at it now and the resolution's like shitty.
The closest I've come to feeling the way I felt first time watching the Blair Witch, and it's not even a found footage movie, is The Witch.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Similar feeling that I had.
I would say that first time watching Ghost Watch, I know it came out before this movie, but that was one, even though it came out, I think it was in 92. Maybe it was just where I was watching it. I had all the lights off. I was downstairs watching it in the dark, and I was dialed in for that. They're almost in a lot of ways the same way that I was for the Blair Witch the first time I saw it. But man, what a great movie. If you guys haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. If you guys are looking for additional found footage movies to check out.
Great movie.
Yeah. And then Steven mentioned he said there's a really interesting theory online that Mike and Josh were planning to kill Heather the whole time. I mean, that's half the interesting aspect of this movie, is that there's a number of different theories out there with what everything symbolized, or theories on like the outcome of what happened by the end of the movie.
Did they say anything in the special features? Because I haven't seen the second sight one release.
No, they didn't really touch on that, theories or anything like that.
I remember. It's more, I think, like, what would you say, fan theories that get kind of thrown around?
Yeah.
What up, Josh? Hey. Just got out of weapons, man. You guys are killing me here.
Late fees.
Oh, dude. Weapons, phenomenal. Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Don't worry, Josh.
I need someone to talk to.
We won't charge you, man.
We're gonna have to come up with a cinema fast forward series, so that way we could just talk about new movies.
Yeah. Hey, you might be onto something. Speaking of on something, got Stiltskin.
I was just looking at it. Yeah.
A video store classic,
man.
So what is it about this movie that has us coming back to it all these years later? when this movie was in the, like, you go to rent something on a Friday night, was it the VHS box or the cover art that like captured your attention or caught your eye when you were at the video store?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. I like. I mean, come on. Like,
Oh, Uncle
I had
Rumpus.
never seen this movie, and if it wasn't for TerraVision, I probably would have never seen it. But I remember seeing it in the video stores, and this was one of those movies I talked about with my mom that she saw. She saw the Rumple on there. She's like, "There's no way you're watching that. Like, I
Oh,
don't need that
terrifying.
demonic. I don't need that demonic thing in my house."
Yeah.
That's kind of how what she would tell me. Um, yeah, but it was so cool to see that TerraVision brought this out because man, memories flooded back seeing at the video store, seeing the poster. I remember seeing the posters on the wall at the video stores of this, and
So
I'm
damn
glad
creepy.
I'm glad TerraVision, you know,
Yeah.
did what they did an amazing job with this because
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't for them.
Same
mean, this-
director who did Leprechaun as well,
Yeah,
Dude.
Mhm.
which is kind of crazy. GC,
It's
what
like-
about you, man?
Dude, I mean, man, that like, could you show that VHS one more time? Because like, oh my god, dude, I remember seeing that at the video store, and I remember the box for it. It was all like kind of beat up, so it made it so much more intriguing because you knew people were picking that up, but also it just looked old and like forbidden
Mhm.
fruit to me. And
Well,
dude,
it's
oh,
a wholesome concept, right?
yeah,
It's the same thing with Leprechaun. They should be, in theory, these concepts that are like very almost like kid friendly, like the fairy tale, and it's like taking something so pure and just completely like twisting it and like rotting it from the inside out. And I think what I see with uh what, like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and that whole universe, in a lot of ways it kind of reminds me of that concept. You're taking something that's supposed to be innocent and kind of completely doing a 180 with the concept.
it's a new
Mhm.
generation of Leprechaun and Rumpelstiltskin for them.
Yeah, yeah. Jordan, you're a fan of that universe, right? You like those movies?
Yeah, they're fun. The new ones really. I actually, you know what? I will say, I do enjoy. GC, your dog is joining us
Dude, how'd you know? That's
Dude,
hilarious.
because I saw
This-
Maverick, and I know that's your dog.
Yeah. He's
you guys are witnessing a miracle firsthand. A dog is able to type.
guys, and this is a perfect example of why you have to tune into these live streams, especially Steven's. This is the maiden voyage, and if my dog is on here watching, it is because Steven is that awesome.
Listen,
There you go.
Maverick, I'm honored that you're joining us for this Friday night hangout.
I was wondering where my cell phone went. I was like, what the hell?
So this movie for you guys, was it like a hidden gem that you stumbled upon, like renting late at night? Or like, how did you guys go about finding this one?
Dude, just stumbling across it in the aisles, man. I mean, it was one of those where it's like I saw it and I remember, and that's a funny thing, dude. I remember taking it home and I didn't like I saw it, but it was kind of like a situation where like I had a friend over and I didn't remember too much. And then even now as an adult, like I could barely remember anything about the movie, but I just always remember the cover art.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I remember it being like Leprechaun. He was funny and all that. And after getting TerraVision, like, I mean, dude, it was getting that release. It just unlocked like this childhood memory of like that forbiddenness and just really opening up that like obsession with like the horror genre.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and then how would you guys say, like, for Rumpelstiltskin, how does it blend fairy tale elements with horror? I mean, I don't think that, at least to my knowledge, there's, at least for the time, there was a ton of movies that were like this, but what do you guys think?
Well, repeat the question one more time.
So, how does Rumpelstiltskin blend fairy tale elements with horror?
You get one phone call.
I mean, I, already the character Rumpelstiltskin is kind of a mischievous character. So he seems to be the perfect fairy tale character to be uh, putting that horror spin on, I think. And they do a really good job too, because it's a fairy tale about Rumpelstiltskin that takes place in, the early, way back in time.
What's up, Aaron?
And so it's cool because they modernize it. They bring him back and they do a cool playing with that. It's funny. This is horror, but it's a different kind of horror,
Yeah.
It's hard to explain what it is.
It's like a fairy tale type horror.
It's like just a twisted fairy tale is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's not afraid to be like outlandish and weird and off the wall. Like I think it especially for this movie and Leprechaun, I think I think these films know what they are.
Oh, for sure.
Getting to see Rumpelstiltskin, behind a motorcycle. I mean, you can't have too high of expectations, but there's something about this that I think just works on so many levels.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget too, Charles Bernstein, the score of this film.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Man.
Incredible. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
And the score of this film, I love. I have the vinyl for it.
Oh, from TerraVision.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't even show it off.
Yeah. For
I can read it.
the viewers at home,
Damn it, Jordan. Steven hasn't even seen it yet, but not this Steven, the other Steven.
Yeah, well, he's in for a treat, that's for sure. GC, are there scenes from this movie that you felt like stuck out to you most after watching it?
Dude, I mean, I think
Here it is right here.
Oh.
And then
Come on now.
it's the back, and then you open it up.
Oh,
I love that. Dude, shout out to TerraVision.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Always going the extra mile for these releases. A lot of love put into anything ranging from like their 4Ks, Blu-rays, all the way down to their vinyls and cassettes.
Well, you could even get they redid this on VHS right now. You can pick it up at their website.
Oh,
Jordan, you better add that to your cart. Ooh.
I don't know if I want to pay $30 for a VHS though.
Hey, thank you, Phil. Said you guys are awesome. Hit that like button.
Thanks, dude.
Like and subscribe, guys.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
Please. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Phil.
Dude, I think that scene that you were talking about on the motorcycle hits the nail on the head just because I have a motorcycle, and just seeing Rumple on there is just so
I just
badass.
picture GC in his head. He's trying to be like Rumpelstiltskin riding his bike.
His steed.
Dude, I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why I always wanted a motorcycle. It was like a subconscious thing from watching the VHS.
You might be onto something.
Oh man.
I was so I asked GC like what scene stood out to him. Jordan, what about you? Is there anything that you could think of off the top of your head?
Oh man, I think the chase scene in the 18-wheeler. I mean, that's a iconic scene, and throughout the movie, just Rumple's little quick one-liners. He's so witty in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think too the big reveal of him and the scene when he's trying to fight for the baby in the kitchen from that lady. That's a big one.
Yeah.
I remember that scene. But I love they do a really good job at making him, you could tell he's from a different era because he calls that everything he drives, rides, whatever is his noble steed.
Yeah.
Right. His motorcycle, his the 18-wheeler.
I think that has to be like the one that always stands out to me because it's just so over the top.
And what they do so well that no one talks about with the music is Charles Bernstein's score for that scene. It's the iconic. It's one of the best pieces of that film, I think. But if you watch and you listen, Rumple, when he pulls the horn, it's it's in the same key as the actual song. So when he pulls it, it matches perfectly with the score. So the
That's it.
key, yeah, the note or the key, I guess, yeah,
Yeah.
that the 18 wheelers is in the same key as the actual score. It is so cool.
That's
That's how you
sick.
know that Jordan's a professional sound guy when he
Yeah.
catches those things.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know about professional, but
it's really cool. I mean, like I said earlier, it's just really cool to see like TerraVision going all out, and giving this movie like the love that it deserves. Because I just remember seeing it so early on, and it's one of those movies, kind of like Jack Frost, like they're video store staples, and now to see like these labels that are willing to go the extra mile for like having these releases completely decked out, um, you know, definitely props to them for sure. Um, and then outside of that, like, would you recommend Rumpelstiltskin as a must-watch cult horror movie for a video store marathon, or like where would that fall for you guys?
Yes.
oh, of
Definitely.
course. Well, that's why it's on the list. That
Yeah,
we're talking about today. I mean, this to me screams like a cult classic video store staple.
yeah,
Especially growing up in that era too. Like if you're like around our age, you're gonna enjoy it because you grew up with some of those cheesy type movies. And
Mhm.
dude, a double feature on St. Patrick's Day, you could watch that and Leprechaun like back to back. Oh
Yeah.
man.
And they're just fun movies.
Yeah.
They don't take themselves too seriously. They're, I guess, what you would call today kind of a popcorn flick in a way.
yeah,
Yeah.
But they're just fun and they're good. And look, we're not saying they're, you know, absolute cinema. I always think of that scene or that meme,
yeah.
you
Martin
know, but
Scorsese.
right. But they're just fun movies and they make you laugh, they make you smile, make you feel good.
And the effects hold up.
Oh my gosh, the
I
effects
mean,
on Rumple
yeah. I was
for sure.
really pleasantly surprised because you know how it is. Like some movies, when you start upgrading them, to 4K format, they don't always make the jump in the
Mhm.
best way, or you might be able to like point out some stuff that just hasn't aged well. This, I was like, damn man, this whole movie got a fucking facelift. So
Yeah, it
um
looked really, really good.
it's very impressive. Now, um, kind of pivoting away from that on a more serious note.
Uh-oh.
And one movie I wanted to talk to you guys about, I don't know where my VHS copy is, but if someone can, I'm tagging one of you guys in for this one. Couldn't create this list without mentioning The Silence of the Lambs. There we go. I like it. We got two different editions. I feel like I let you guys down. I
Nice.
don't know where my VHS is at.
Jordan's is the best edition. Mine is like some
No,
Bluray
no, no,
from
no, no, no.
Lionsgate.
GC, don't be so hard on yourself, man.
Then there
I
you
just
go.
I can't look at him. That's beautiful.
I love this movie.
Same.
Hello, Clarice.
Dude, I still need to keep that soundbite for you guys listening out there. GC was doing some ridiculous things in our group chat, so I'm just going to leave it at that. What's up, man? Thanks for coming to hang out with us.
Dude, what's going on, buddy?
Brian.
So good to see you. All right, so let's dive right into this. So how would you guys say like The Silence of the Lambs, how does it balance psychological horror with crime thriller elements? I mean, I think that this is a movie that is very unique compared to some of the other ones that we're talking about. Because I think it tiptoes that fine line between psychological horror and it being a thriller. Where are you guys at on this one?
My opinion, it's a horror film.
Okay.
And I think, whether it was a good thing they did it or not, it would not have won. I mean, this swept the Oscars when it came out. I mean, I think it won every single award that it was nominated for that year, which is nominated for like everything.
Yeah.
If it was listed as a horror film, there's no way it would have won.
Yeah, they're not too kind, I feel like, to horror movies.
Right. But it is a horror film, and that's why they marketed it as, no, this is just a thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's a horror film in my opinion.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, Buffalo Bill. I mean, that character alone is scary. Like the scene where he's asking that girl to help get the couch in the back of the U-Haul.
Mhm.
Like, and you're watching it, and I remember watching it. And you're just kind of yelling at the screen. Why are you going in that way? Don't
Yeah.
go in first. What are you doing?
It's like
You
everything your
know?
parents tell you not to do.
Exactly. Yep.
You
Yep.
know?
I think that was very inspired from Ted Bundy when he'd pretend
Yeah.
he had like a flat tire
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
his car broke down.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, I think this might be the first slight disagreement. It's definitely scary, obviously, because of the situation. It's so realistic, and this has happened before in numerous different ways. But I don't see it so much as a horror. I mean, it reminds me of Seven, right? Like I get
Yeah, okay.
the
I
same
could see
Okay.
feeling.
that.
Yeah, because it's the thing with this movie that I felt that with Hannibal Lecter, they could have really leaned into him being a cannibal, right? But obviously it's established that he is and all that, but it just focused so much on the um what is like the detective work of finding like a serial killer type situation. So it's like what Hannibal Lecter is, but at the same time it's like yeah, it's more focused on the let's find the person, save them, and stop this bad guy. So it really felt like a buddy cop kind of psychological thriller movie, but
Mhm.
except the partner's in jail and he eats people.
Well, I mean, you also, but to counteract that, there's that scene where they transport him,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And they
that's
have him in that
true.
room and lights go out. I mean, that's scary,
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure. Oh,
very
dude,
scary.
absolutely.
you know?
Yeah, it's, I like that it combines so many different elements because yeah, I get what both you guys are saying. I think that there's like the police procedural esque
Yeah,
element to it. Obviously, they're with the FBI, but like you have that side of things. You have like the thriller side of things, the psychological aspect, horror, and you combine all that together, and I think it just creates such an effective movie that all these years later, you know, I mean, how many other movies have we really had that that have done it as well as this movie has? I mean, you know, a lot of people were comparing, like, you know, bringing up Long Legs again, but a lot of people were comparing them, and I just felt like yeah, I could see some similarities, you know, due to like the aesthetic,
yeah.
but I don't think that they're close in the same tier, you know,
Well,
as far as the quality of movie.
remember that when
No.
this movie came out, we started getting like movies like The Bone Collector, which
Hmm.
again, so it was a duo looking for serial killer. We had Seven, which again, two people,
So
and
good.
dude, and it was just kind of I think this movie, if anybody takes anything from tonight, it's the trend between Scream being a pop culture icon, the Blair Witch, and then you have Silence of the Lambs with that "Hello, Clarice." Like till this day, people
Yeah.
we still joke, we answer the phone and we still joke around like that. You know, There's
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. I mean, you know, you're on this like chase the entire time, you know, everything is like playing out, you know, with her Clarice trying to track down Buffalo Bill. Um now I
what?
feel like there's a handful of them, but you know, what scene did you find the most chilling or unsettling?
I think that was when he's like, put the lotion on the skin or get the hose again. To me, that freaked me out. I was like, oh man, this guy is bonkers.
For me, and it's a simple one, and it's the guy. I don't remember the actor who plays Buffalo Bill, but man, his voice when the girl is down in the pit
Oh, Ted
and
Levine.
she's
Yeah,
trying
it's
to
amazing.
convince him, and she has and with the dog, and he just blood curling just screams at her.
Mhm.
That just sent chills down my body when seeing that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so creepy.
Yeah.
Um
We
so
got
we
another
got
super chat.
it's coming in.
Oh ho ho!
Jordan, do you
Beef
collect Final
cheeks on
Siege?
the streets.
It's
Dude.
bringing it
Jordan,
back. Hey, I'm telling you, beef cheeks, buddy.
dude, Jordan, do you collect vinyl soundtracks on I'm guessing from A24 sites, Midsummer
N-
and The Green Knight have amazing
n-
artwork sleeves?
not. I don't have any actually from A24's website. I have The Witch. That's like one of my favorite movies. I also have their screenplay book. So short answer, no, I don't have any
Okay.
from their
know they
website.
had.
So
I have
I
a very
remember
humble vinyl collection right now.
listen, I feel like it's just a matter of time before it's a slippery slope. I'll just leave it at that. But Mondo had a
Don't
vinyl
even.
release, and this was early on, and like when my wife and I were dating, but she got that for me for Christmas. I was just like floored. I was so happy just to have that in the collection.
Dude.
But yeah, the Green Knight, do they have a vinyl soundtrack through their website?
I didn't know they did.
Yeah, I didn't know A24 did that.
But did you guys, speaking of vinyl, quick little off topic, did you see the Sacred Bones Halloween, the
oh my god, dude. Stop it.
the Blumhouse trilogy vinyl collection they have?
Oh my god.
I don't need it. I have to keep telling myself I already have the Waxwork Records releases. I don't need it.
And they already sold out of the pumpkin orange one. All they have is the blood red one, which is that. I mean, I like that one too.
Yeah.
But the pumpkin, I think the pumpkin one was signed, if I remember correctly.
Well, Jordan, with all the super chats tonight, you get it.
Yeah. Listen, you'll have enough to go around to get both GC and I a copy of
well, I think it's oh, okay. Yeah, I'm kind of looking on here. I'm just browsing. I went on their website. They do have vinyl soundtracks.
Dude.
That's cool. All right, well, I'll have to look at that another time.
Hell
That's awesome.
yeah.
They have to Bring Me Back or Bring Her Back soundtrack, by the way. So
ooh, I think I saw something like that online today.
I've been eyeing that Weapons vinyl from Waxwork that just just announced that today. I'm like, ooh, man. Talk about as far as like whoever does like the pressing, they go all out.
They have an awesome Midsommar one, the Heretic one. The Heretic one's cool.
What's up, Jeff? Thanks for coming to hang out with us.
What's going on, dude?
Okay, so how did Anthony Hopkins' portrayal of Hannibal Lecter redefine the horror villain?
Well, he was very calculated, and that's what I like about him. He was very smart. He could study his victims, and he was very opportunistic. He saw this opportunity. He saw Clarice, and he knew that he can control her and get her to get him out, make a plea bargain with him. That's scary, you know.
Very manipulative.
Very manipulative. Yeah. So, I mean, I think we keep bringing it back, but Seven, John Doe and Seven, I think is a really, really great, you know, you can't say that Seven was not inspired by Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
There's no way.
There's a lot that, you know, I know I was saying this earlier that not many movies have hit the heights of Silence of the Lambs as far as like what it's like, the vibe that it brings, what it's trying to be. But I would have to say Seven is very, very close in the same vein as this film. Just, you know, obviously different context and in that regards. But yeah, I think that again, it's another role that I just don't know if somebody else portraying him would have like really hit the same heights. I mean,
there's no way, man, because like, I mean, Anthony Hopkins, he had such a magic just in his eyes alone. Like, I mean, and then the type of swagger that he had, like that charm that he brings, where he's just the way he pauses, the way he talks. I mean, all the way down to the nostril flares. Like, he was so good.
100%.
It's the timbre in his voice. Well, what do you think about Brian Cox's portrayal as Hannibal Lecter in Manhunter?
Oh, I love that movie.
Man, I haven't seen it.
I don't know.
You know,
okay, hear me out. There's a part of me that goes like back and forth on like which one of these movies I like more. It's just for me personally, and maybe that's just the type of movies that I enjoy. But aesthetically, that you can't tell me Manhunter isn't a gorgeous movie, and it's so creepy. It's so fucking creepy. I don't know. Damn. I don't know. I don't know if I want to say it on here, but I don't know.
You guys heard it here first.
Manhunter might edge out Silence of the Lambs, at least like for me personally.
Dude, I gotta check it out. Ever since I found that VHS, I was so like heartbroken that it was like $3 and I found it and the box was great condition, but then the tape itself, it didn't look too great and I was
Oh
just so
god.
disappointed.
Um, yeah, it's that's the worst.
Dude,
I'll
it's
just I'll just leave it at that. Um, now, what did you guys think of Jodie Foster's performance as Clarice Starling?
I think she did great, man. I mean, I think her role for sure, it could be there's options for other people being able to play her role. Um, but I think she did pretty fantastic job with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she did a good job. I think, and tell me what you guys think, it's possible that, Anthony Hopkins' performance elevated hers,
Yeah.
I think
if anything.
yeah, I could see that they both played off of each other really well. The chemistry they had with it, that dynamic that they had in the movie was
Mhm.
really effective. And um, it's like the cat and mouse, game that they have going back and forth with, him only giving her X amount of information or kind of leading her on this like chase to figure out who Buffalo Bill really is. And it's a race against time, essentially.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys rent this movie back in the day, or did you see it in theaters? I don't know, at what point you guys discovered this.
Oh, TV. That's where I
Okay,
saw it.
okay,
TV and well, so another kind of situation. My dad had it on VHS, and but I think I watched it on TV for the first time, and that's kind of how I watch it exclusively. And then I watched it on. I think the first time I actually watched like the full cut of the film was on Netflix, possibly.
You don't
okay.
have these VHS, Jordan? Or like did what happened to them?
They're probably in storage. So that's a good question. I'll have to find out because I know they got to be somewhere.
This this was a movie that took me a little bit of time to get into, and I'd only heard about it through my parents. I remember them telling me like, you don't want to see it. Like it's really, I mean, you know, it's a pretty like intense movie, and I think that I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of the reason why I wanted to see it. So maybe unintentionally it inspired me to check this out at some point.
Do you feel like this movie, because this movie came out when we were younger,
Yeah.
that this movie is kind of, I know these are all adult oriented, right? They're all horror films, but this movie is just kind of another class of films. It's a slow burn. You got to really pay attention. It is drawn out at times. And I feel like when you're young, attention span, you almost really didn't give it the time of day. It was almost, oh, this is a boring movie kind of thing. Am I the only one that felt that way as a kid with
Um,
this movie?
I think it's a movie that I definitely appreciate a little bit more, now that I can take a step back. I've seen a number of other horror movies and I can appreciate it for what it is.
Mhm.
Um, is it a movie that I would go back the same level of frequency as like a Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween? No, probably not. It's I like it for what it is, but I think outside of that, honestly, it's gotten better as I've gotten older, I think is what I'm getting
Yeah.
at.
I think Sounds of Lambs has a class to it. It's like your 4-course meal type of film
Yeah.
where you got Freddy or not Freddy versus Jason. But yeah, sure, why not?
Yes.
Nightmare on Elm
Hot take.
Street.
Does Jordan think that Freddy versus Jason is better than Silence of the Lambs?
No, but you have films like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Those are like horror junk food, right? They're
Yeah.
just good. And that's the best way I can describe it is Silence of the Lambs is like your fine dining, fava beans
Criterion.
and Chianti, kind of film. So
Like Lobster.
Jeff was saying I got Manhunt on VHS. I think it's Shop. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even
mean,
have it. I don't even own it. So I need to get it.
Listen, I will say though, is that is one that I'm hoping eventually makes the jump to 4K at some point. Just
Well,
because I know the Blu-ray is pretty expensive.
I think it's a Studio Canal film. I'm shocked they haven't done a 4K of it.
I thought it was coming down the pipeline. I'm not 100% sure, but Yeah,
Second
that's
sight. Just let them
you
do
heard it. You
everything.
heard it here first. We're manifesting it.
Do everything horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then lastly, did the VHS cover art capture the film's chilling tone for you guys?
It always kind of threw me off. Like I was like, what is that like on her face? And I was like, I was always
Yeah,
wondering.
it's not until you see the movie that you really get the moth symbolism.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. So I got the final film that I was ready to talk about. I saved this one specifically for Jordan because he's definitely gonna lead us on this one.
Well, I don't know about leading you guys. It's been
Oh,
a
come
while
on
since
now.
I've seen. It's been a while since I've seen this one.
I know, same here, but
Take us to the pasture, buddy.
I got Halloween H2O.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, I
Yep.
got the Scream Factory ones. But
GC, what you got over there?
I don't have it.
Don't be
guys.
shy.
You don't have it?
Dude. I don't. So
I'm just messing.
I have so many copies. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, and I'm ashamed. I'm gonna say it live, but I don't. And it's not because I don't want to. It's just I've been waiting, but I don't have any of the Halloweens. Oh, actually, no. Wait. Nope.
You hurt me. But
No, hold on.
it's okay.
I have Halloween 1.
Okay.
What are you waiting
it's
on?
A start. It's a start.
What are
You said you're waiting.
for?
What are you waiting?
I wanted to get so I originally wanted that box set, but like the Blu-ray one, but I missed out on it, and then the price is so high. So now I'm just kind of waiting to get them all on 4K, like to get them all in a box set. Kind of like I'm waiting for the Freddy to come out, and then I know that Friday the 13th is going to be next, and then I know Halloween is going to be next.
Well, with Halloween, I think Scream Factory actually holds the rights to them, don't they? Like do they, or how does that work? Because they're still obviously there's some rights they have because they keep rehashing them.
Well, I hope they put a 4K box set, man. That would be that's like really what I want, man. But guys,
well, yeah, I mean, that's tough to say, honestly.
It is hard because of people like me. Well, just buy the singles tons of times that they're like, why would we do that when we can just keep getting more money from Jordan by all their releases that they put out? So
Steelbooks.
guys, comment below. Tell Jordan to send us a copy of his many copies over.
I have okay. I only have 2 copies of H2O. Okay,
the same one, or do you have a steelbook?
Oh, the other one, the steelbook release, like the individual one.
They have an individual for H2O steelbook. Well, I don't have it, but I'm gonna need it
mixed
now.
up. Double check.
Somebody
fact check that.
You know what they do? I think.
Right. It has that really nice cover art.
I could have swore I saw it somewhere.
Halloween H2O 4K steelbook.
What's up, Frank? Maybe there will.
What's up, dude? Oh yeah, man.
Dude, Frank.
That's it,
brother.
GC.
It's got me covered.
No more excuses.
That's it. I want such a cool box set. I want to be like Frank I want to be like Frank and Jordan with those box sets.
He is right. I swear he is right though, because the 4Ks that they did, they look so nice.
Okay, here it is. Man, this is nice artwork. I'm looking at it. Add to cart.
Beef cheeks.
You heard it here first.
I'm buying it. I missed the Freddy box on Amazon. Do you think? I heard rumors that they're probably going to be doing another restock, but probably not till like November. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've heard.
Limited run.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're selling out everywhere.
I mean, I guess I'm not surprised with it being such a popular franchise, but it's like almost like a 180 from the standalone release that we had for Nightmare on Elm Street last year, where I felt like it was, I mean, it didn't really sell out the way I think a lot of us were anticipating. So for now, how did Halloween H2O successfully bring back Laurie Strode after so many years? Did you guys think the film handled it right?
I actually thought it was good. I enjoyed it, you know. I wasn't a fan of her dying in a car accident off screen.
Yeah.
I don't like that they killed her in Resurrection. I thought that was stupid. I don't like Resurrection. If you guys don't know, that's like my that's the worst Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think of all the different masks, though?
Like as a whole for the franchise,
I don't know, because there was multiple masks in this one.
Damn, I don't
it's
remember, man.
It was
it's
like there
been
was
a
a CGI mask and
it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
okay.
I don't think it's like if you're comparing any of the masks from this movie compared to like some of the earlier movies, I feel like that those did the design a little bit better,
Mhm.
especially like the first couple. But
Yeah. Anyways, I enjoyed how they brought her back. It was believable to me. So
I
yeah.
like the
were there like scenes for you guys that delivered like the biggest scares or shocks, like when you guys saw it the first time, or like when you were initially like renting it?
when they stared at each other through that
Yep.
through the door.
There it
That
is.
scene
Yep.
was the one for me that just like I almost jumped out of my seat. I was like, yeah, face off.
Yep, that was it. That was you were gonna say the one I was gonna say.
The
Dude.
confrontation.
Dude.
Yep.
This movie is so edgy, so cool. I mean, you have like this you have Josh Hartnett at his prime in this movie, and
Mhm.
it's I think to me, I mean they're all phenomenal films. Like, I mean, I agree with Jordan about Resurrection. It's, you have to have it in the collection, but it's kind of like
You don't feel
the
good about it.
yeah, you feel a little dirty about it. You kind of leave you almost want to move it to the end, but it has to be in
It's there, but
chronological.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, But
Well,
this one's
and
the best one for me. Like, it's one of the fun ones because it's so edgy.
and kind of going back to what you were saying, I mean, Josh Hartnett, like around the time, I mean, he did this and the faculty all around that same like time
Yeah.
period. So definitely very much of the time. Like I feel like he was really big like when this was released. Now did you guys think that Michael Myers felt as menacing in H2O as earlier entries, like compared to the previous Halloween movies?
I mean, man, I haven't seen this one so long, but I do remember, like, I remember being like, dude, this guy, I mean, he still had that darkness, that creepiness where
Hmm.
it's, you know, I didn't feel like it wasn't quite there. Like, I felt like it kept up with like the originals to me.
I mean, I don't think he's ever gonna be as menacing as he's in like the first film. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
top that, but he's obviously menacing enough to keep after Laurie Strode after 20 years.
He's
So
persistent.
very persistent.
Now, how would you guys say that H2O affected the slasher genre in the late 90s?
I mean, here's the
Obviously there was a lot of heavy hitters around that time.
Hmm.
Where does this stack up, or what was the lasting impact that it had?
It's hard to say. I, I think it's hard to say that it had a much of a massive impact because it was a result of a massive impact from another film.
Hmm.
Um, I think they had a good thing going and they just, you know, destroyed themselves with Resurrection.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if I would say it had a huge impact of the 90s because I think it's a result of an impact.
Hmm.
Um,
Kind of
which
following the
which
trends.
I'm happy about, of course.
Yeah.
So
This
It's
was sorry, I felt like this was like the last one that I felt like really invested in, up
mhm,
until Rob Zombie's take on it, and obviously that's very different compared to all the other ones that came before it. But,
mhm,
you're right, like Resurrection, I like unfortunately kind of killed all the interest that
mhm.
people had in continuing this franchise. And it just I don't know. That again, I think that's always a tough watch when you're going through and doing a marathon.
Yeah.
what I love about this movie is the fact that it's a time capsule for the 90s. And between the music and the
Yep.
actors, it
Yeah.
just oozes 90s.
Even the way it's filmed, the color grading of it, just
Yeah.
everything about it just screams 90s.
Yeah.
Um do you feel like it helped revive interest in the Halloween franchise though with this one?
I think it helped kind of shine light back into it because of the cast. I mean, they were using cast that were just kind of actors and people that were just kind of killing it at the time. So it helped get the word out. They're like, Halloween's back, but also we have these people on here, so they were curious to see what they were going to do with it. But I know Jordan's going to know more about this.
No. Of course, I think it gauged a lot of interest because they actually brought back Jamie Lee Curtis, and she actually agreed to come back for this movie.
And then again.
And again.
Yeah.
But again, they decided to kill her off in the next one, so whatever. In Resurrection. Worst Halloween. But, sorry, what was your question again?
Just asking if you guys felt like it helped revive interest in the Halloween franchise with this movie.
Oh, I think so, a little bit, because it brought a lot of people back because they got to see Laurie Strode again face off against Michael Myers, and they hadn't seen that since early 80s, 81, was it?
Yeah, Halloween 2.
Yeah. So it's been that long. And, of course, I think, I love all the Halloween movies. I love every single one of them. And the quality of them, they kind of do go down. They start to, dive. If you're
Jordan,
looking at
you're being kind.
If you're looking at it logistically, I can't talk too bad about my favorite franchise.
Yeah.
Okay. They do decline as they go on. They're fun movies, but they do decline. And so people, they were losing interest. And then they kind of took that little pause, and then they announced Jamie Lee Curtis is back. I mean, that was a big deal because, like I said, you hadn't seen it in a long time. So there was definitely interest in this. And then they killed her off in the next one.
I remember this movie will always stand out to me as being edgier. As far as like out of the entire franchise, the edgier entry in the Halloween franchise. And then obviously I'll never forget, just the amount of hype, even hearing about it by word of mouth with Jamie Lee Curtis coming back. And it just, you had Scream is taking off like crazy. You have this movie that, I feel like was somewhat of a like an answer back to the fact that, okay, Scream's now this huge juggernaut for an upcoming franchise. Why not bring Michael Myers back? It's interesting. And like you said, unfortunately Resurrection just, destroyed all the progress they made.
And then Resurrection.
Yeah.
They should change the title of the movie to like something else.
Well, we got through the Blumhouse trilogy, so I feel like I could take on anything now. And lastly, so how did Halloween H2O stand out among the many slasher sequels available for rent in the late 90s? You guys put this one up there?
Well, of course I would. I mean, I think it stands out because it's Michael Myers. This is John Carpenter's Halloween. This is the one that really, I would argue, kicked off the slasher genre as we know it today. So I think it belongs up there.
Yeah.
Do you guys, what do you prefer between this one or The Curse of Michael Myers? Because that came out in 95, and that was, before Scream came out. So,
man, it depends what I'm searching for. I feel like this one gives me the most nostalgia.
Curse just goes off the walls. Curse just goes crazy. The whole Thorn thing and
Did you guys like the direction that they went with that? 4 or 5, then with that film, the Thorn trilogy?
I mean, what are you going to do? Not particularly. I think it gets a little crazy with the Thorn, the whole Thorn storyline. And then, of course, him impregnating Jamie. It's just, I don't know. Yeah.
Only in the 90s.
Yeah. And then you have Paul Rudd as Tommy. He comes back as Tommy.
It's not like, I have to say, neither of these movies are the low points, I feel like, for the franchise. Like, I can appreciate for, both of them what they were trying to do. And I think, I guess like the takeaway from this is that I feel like the 90s was a decade that horror was definitely trying to find its feet. Where does it go next? And in a lot of ways, I mean, obviously, I think that these films definitely touch on that, and we got kind of like a well-rounded group of movies together to discuss tonight.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, if there's obviously so many that we had to choose from, so let us know, guys, if this is something that you guys want us to do a part 2 of. We can definitely always come back together and revisit it. But above all else, I want to thank both of you guys for joining me tonight for the first After Dark live stream.
Yeah, man, it was
Um,
fun.
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for being down to hang out and spend your Friday night here. So I want to go through, obviously, where can all of our viewers find you at?
Who's going first? Me?
Yeah, Jordan,
Yeah.
let the people know.
I should have announced that, but what are you gonna
Yeah,
do?
I was like, all right. No, yeah, you can find me over at the movie den on the old YouTube, here on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I'm diving back into TikTok. I don't know if you guys saw my video I posted. So I'm trying to I'm trying to focus more, doing more short form content as well.
Fantastic,
But
by the way.
oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, you're doing
Thank
a great
you.
job, man.
Thank you. But anyways, yeah, you can find me on there, and on these lives we do all the time with these two beautiful gentlemen. After the After Dark, Cinema Rewind, and we got to come up with a third one. I don't know.
We got
We'll
Fear
figure
by
something.
Year. We got Fear by Year. Don't
Oh,
forget
Fear by
about that.
Year.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Fear by Year. And I know I promised that there would be the other episode up. I wanted to let this one breathe a little bit, so I'll probably this weekend I'll probably throw up the 1978 episode,
Hell yeah.
and then later this month, if it wasn't on the 20, do you know what date it's on, Steve?
Hold on.
Anyways, I think it's like the 22nd or something. We're going to be doing 1979, and
Oh,
we are going to
21st.
21st.
Yep,
21st.
21st.
We're going to do 1979. We're going to be having Garrett, Born to be Rad, is going to be joining us, and we're
Hell
going to be
yeah.
talking about movies from 1979. So stay tuned for that. And if you missed that, we are making it into a podcast as well, so you can go check those out. And anything else?
We've got
I mean, I guess I'll say it here. I got a little early thing of the Innkeepers that I gotta do a review, and I'll pull that out for you guys. That's all I'll say about that. But try to get a review out for the Innkeepers from Second Sight.
I can't wait to hear how it is.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have going on. Nothing too crazy. Same old, same old.
And we got the Beyond the Blood episode, the oversized Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode on Sunday that we're recording.
We're doing that one. Yep. And then there's another surprise one that I don't want to, if you want to say something, Steven, I'm not going to say anything about it, but there's another one too. Supposed to be coming up here pretty soon. So
nice.
That's all I have.
Do you see what you got?
Man, I don't have anything too crazy. But you guys, yeah, if you're watching this on any of the other channels, you could find me at Face the Movies on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Letterbox. I like, it's funny, Jordan, you mentioned TikTok. I have one, but I haven't posted on there in like months. But all I use, I mean, you can mainly find me, Instagram, YouTube. I do have a podcast which is called Friday Night Fright Night, and you can find it on Apple, Spotify, and I'm doing the video formats on my YouTube channel as well. And we do have the Cinema Rewind series, which is next week. We have Camp Counselor Ken joining us from Mid-Level Media for an
I'm excited for that.
episode 10, which is incredible. I might be doing a code giveaway, so digital code. So tune in. You might win one. We'll see what happens. Night might get crazy. I might throw 2 or 3 out there. But yeah, besides that, just kind of hanging out with these guys. And I just want to add, love you guys. And Steven, dude, so damn proud of you, man, for doing this.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Dude, it looks, you did such a good job hosting your first live stream. It looks great.
Thank you.
Went smoothly. It was fun.
Thank you. GC, we've got Cinema Rewind coming up, and that's at 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific time for that one, correct? With Ken?
Yeah, it's gonna be on Tuesday the 12th, and then on the 19th, we're doing an episode with Aaron from A&B Horror, which
Yep.
is going to be pretty exciting. That one's we're going to be touching on it's going to be kind of, so this is going to be the first episode. It's going to be episode 11 where we're doing kind of a little bit of a double feature. So that one's going to be fun. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake, to celebrate the release from Arrow. And then on the 26th, we have an episode, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, which we're doing The Conjuring. Where that one, we don't have a guest just yet. We're still figuring that one out, but we have a good lineup for the rest of the month of August. So it's going to be pretty fun.
Hell yeah. And then Steven here, you guys can find me at After Hours Video. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, you name it. Just wanted to plug real quickly, Beyond the Blood has an After Hours episode that we did that was covering June and July, which is available now on all streaming platforms. I know we got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode that's coming up here. Super pumped for that. We got Cinema Rewind coming up. So lots of exciting stuff in the works. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us After Dark, where the scares never sleep. We'll catch you guys on the next one.